What?
I said you have punchlines. I don't have punchlines.
You have punchlines, you don't have premise. Yeah. Punchline premise confusion. Happens all the time. Hello, Bremerton. Woo! Hey, there you see? I thought we lost half the crowd to break. That's good. Oh, here they come. All right. Hey, we're starting comedy in here in case you guys care. Cool. So, Bremerton's cool. Have any of you noticed the sign on Kitsap Way in front of QFC that says, "Thank you, Bremerton"? It should say, "Fuck you, Bremerton." I mean, that makes way more sense, right? Or, "Fuck you, Winco." Like, shit. I'm sorry, I don't mean to betray you, QFC, but you saved like 75% at Winco compared to you. I'm here to tell some jokes in case you haven't noticed. I ran a 7-minute mile the other day. That was pretty cool. I felt pretty good about that. I know some of you are probably thinking though, well, isn't like the Olympic record 4.5 minutes or something like that? Yes, it is. But for Bremerton, I think 7 minutes is a record. Especially if you get someone from like Winco from the 1st to 3rd, or a tweaker, try to get them to run 7-minute mile, their heart would fucking explode. So I got these notes. Oh yeah, that's right. Totally forgot. 4-year anniversary. Yeah, today's my 4-year anniversary of being unemployed. It can be pretty treacherous at times. But it's funny because I got a 6-year-old son. So, like a majority of his life that he remembers, Daddy doesn't have a job. So, he just graduated kindergarten, and in their class, they have this thing that they do at the end of the year. It's an all about me poster. So it's all about your son. And then, it has some cute questions on there. One of the questions is, what do you want to be when you grow up? My son says, I want to be my daddy. I want to do what he does. And so I thought that was cute. But then they made him go up in front of class, in front of all the parents of all the other students. And they made him say that. And somebody said, well, what does your daddy do? And he said, he just sits at home and plays video games all day.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the? So I go up there and I grab my kid off the stage. I'm like, don't listen to him. Shit, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm not a 33-year-old loser who plays video games all day, even though I am. But so I grab him off the center, and I'm like, hey, son, let me tell you something. It's not fucking easy, okay? Being ranked in the top 100 in Call of Duty and Halo at the same time. You little fucker. God, kids just don't get it nowadays. And I got this, I got my 12-year-old too, early release, apparently. They do that nowadays in school. Never did it when I was a kid. Get out early, Wednesdays. So sometimes I'll forget what day it is because I'm unemployed, of course. And my son came home early and he caught me twerking. Really awkward. It's actually not funny, it's really embarrassing. I think the most embarrassing part was that he noticed that I was live streaming it to YouTube. So now there's 2 occasions where my ability to be a good role model has come into serious question with my children. And I'm starting to think to myself, well, that kind of makes sense that I'm a shitty role model because my parents were shitty role models. My dad was a really shitty role model, okay? When I was growing up in high school, the game we played was Bloody Knuckles. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. But apparently when my dad went to high school, he was playing Bloody Boners. Where you would beat off until you bleed. First person to bleed loses. But my dad was known as the guy who would never stop after the competition was over. Because he was always one of the first ones to bleed, but he would be like, I'm going to be the last one to fucking stop masturbating. So he ended up coming blood quite a bit. Yeah, see, that is hot. Who wouldn't want that, right? And my dad, instead of stopping masturbating, he decided to hook up with a goth chick who thought she was a vampire. So my mom's a goth chick. She's like 54 and she's still dedicated to this goth chick thing. It's weird. Combat boots, trench coat, fresh self-inflicted scars on her arm. Like, Mom, get over it, fuck. She's more hardcore on that shit than those butt rockers from the 80s that have the puffy hair. Jeez. Even they grew out of that shit, Mom, come on. Oh, yeah. So, apparently my notes are telling me that I like to have white sheets in my bed, so that way when it gets dirty you can see everything but the cum stains. So I've been doing some landscaping lately this summer. Been getting into that because I'm unemployed, so it's weird because my yard looks like shit. So I'm not good at it. But you pay me $5 under the table and it's like my inner Mexican comes out. I'm all over that yard. I'm fucking kill it. It's crazy. It's like immigrations come by and they don't know whether I'm an illegal Mexican or a fucking terrorist. So they just leave. I'm like, thank you. God. Don't want to be investigated for this under the table shit. Gotta feed my family in Mexico. So it's funny because sometimes my girlfriend gets really drunk, and you know how women can be when they're drunk. Yeah, they're like, I don't fucking need you. I'm independent. I don't need a man in my life. Just wobbly all over the place. I don't need you. And I'm like, yeah, you might not need me, but you could probably use my strong back and my sturdy legs. Because you're shit-faced. Oh man, women aren't crazy. Not at all.
No, we are.
Yeah, you're right. I've noticed that with women, it's like some are just more batshit crazy than the other ones. You know, there's a level to it. There's a reason why I'm not married anymore. It probably has something to do with the fact that my ex-wife kept catching me masturbating to porn. If there's one thing that if it's one thing a person should never do, it's watch porn before you ever have sex. Okay? Because then you have like this really fucked up idea of how sex is. You know, for example, you know, you go to eat a chick out and you're leaving plenty of room for the camera to see. You know, you're just using the tip of your tongue on a clit. It's not really doing anything for her. She's like, what the fuck? You're supposed to get into it. You're supposed to get messy. Like, no, I think I know what I'm doing, actually. I watch lots of porn. But, yeah, my marriage was pretty bad. She caught me watching porn a lot, and she told me one day, she's like, that's it! No more porn for you. And I said, well, fuck. Now I'm going to start masturbating to the thought of being single. God. And you know, thank you for laughing at that, by the way. I don't know what's wrong with everybody else. But, yeah, so our marriage was on the rocks pretty bad. And so we decided that instead of seeing a therapist, we were going to go to a swinger party.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only problem was that we were by far the best looking couple at the swinger party. And let me tell you, there's nothing more awkward than being the best looking couple because you don't want anything to do with them and they want everything to do with you. Really awkward. And my wife was like, what's wrong with you? Why are you so tense? Why don't you relax? And I said, well shit man, these are like the people you see at Jack in the Box. These are the people you see at like a diabetes convention. The fuck? I wouldn't fuck these people if I was rolling on 10 ecstasies right now. Shit. So I'm like, I'm fucking out of here, and this chick stops me, she's like, hey, where are you going? What the fuck was that?